to start with the Pistons. Like I mentioned earlier, they're sitting at a 7-8 record in the Eastern Conference, and they're fifth in the East. And I know we talked about them a little bit in our last video, but they've won a couple more games since then. I think they've played the most games out of any team in the NBA so far this season. I think they're at about 15 or 7 with 7 plus 8. Yeah, they're at about 15 games. And as of they're playing right now against the Rockets, and they're currently losing. So Bulls, excuse me, and they're currently losing. So record may dip a little. They may drop out of fifth, but I think the story of this team this year has been Cade Cunningham and his elevation into, I don't want to say he's not at superstardom yet, but he has that potential written all over him. He's been much improved in almost every aspect of the game this season. I think he's been a better scorer. He's been a better leader. He's been a better playmaker, rebounder, defender, all of the above. And I alluded to a lot of this in our last segment, but it's just nice to finally have a star in Detroit, a young star. Like in the past, in my experience, like we've had Blake Griffin as he was aging. We had Drummond. I wouldn't consider him a star, but he was our franchise player for the time being that he was here. We've had, Greg Monroe, Brandon Jen. We haven't, but since my time really watching the NBA, we haven't had much. We haven't had a star, like especially of Cade's caliber and a guy that you can actually, stamp as our franchise player. So it's been very nice to see. And not just Cade though as a whole. Like obviously he is spearheading this run that we've been on, the Pistons as a whole, but the team around him, like this offseason, I can't emphasize it enough. We did such a great job putting guys around Cade and Jaden Ivey and Duran that kind of helped to maximize their skill sets. They needed spacing. That was something we talked about so much. Everyone around the league, all the talking heads, media, everyone talked about when you were talking about the Pistons, they were bad, yes. But it's also they were one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the league. And they've remedied this situation. They brought in guys like Tim Hardaway, Tobias Harris, Malik Beasley, and you can see their effects. Like they have helped us win multiple games already this season. And I guess we keep mentioning this, but the one hindrance, I guess, in Cade's game is he turns the ball over so much. But that's something you grow and develop with, and that's just something he's going to continue to have to work on. But I cut him a little bit of slack because when you have the ball as much as he does and his usage rate, like you understand it. You don't love it, but you tolerate it because of his production on the other end, well, just on both sides of the court and all that he is asked to do on a game-to-game basis. But I just want to throw out his stats to kind of paint the picture of how good he's been this season. He's had multiple triple doubles this season. I think he's had about 5 or 6. It's been a bunch, but this season he's averaging 23.1 points, so about 23 points, 7.3 rebounds, 8.7 assists, a steal, and a block a game. So not only is he scoring, rebounding, playmaking, but he's also defending, which has been kind of not a revelation because he was never a bad defender, but I didn't realize how it just shows it unlocks another level that he can reach as a two-way player, which just the whole perspective around the Pistons and how our team looks right now, and especially when we get Asar back, like I'm excited for this team, and I'm going to continue to highlight that throughout the season because we're finally good, and I want to give them their flowers because they definitely deserve it.